Before we start, I need a favor. Let me know in the comments what's been done right or wrong. This also helps me create better content for you all. What gets the most retention and comments will win. And check out our Creepy Tales playlist. And now we begin. I should have died when the semi-truck crushed my sedan on Route 14. I remember the impact, the grinding metal, the taste of blood in my mouth. I remember everything going dark. Then I woke up in my own bed at sunrise, completely unharmed. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, I've watched my neighbor Mrs. Henderson get struck by lightning while hanging laundry, only to find her watering her garden the next morning, humming. I've seen Tom from the hardware store fall headfirst off his roof, his neck twisted at an impossible angle. By evening, he was restocking shelves like nothing happened. Nobody talks about it. We just continue. Welcome to Millbrook, population 847. The town that forgot how to die. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. Trauma from the accident, maybe. But the evidence keeps piling up. Yesterday, little Emma Martinez drowned in Miller's Pond. Her mother found the body, called the sheriff, held a proper funeral. I watched them lower the tiny casket into the ground. This morning, Emma was on the school bus, backpack bouncing, pigtails flying. I've been keeping a journal, documenting every death, every impossible return. Heart attacks, car crashes, hunting accidents, even old age, nothing stick. Death visits Millbrook like a tourist, takes some photos, then leaves empty-handed. The oldest resident is Martha Kowalski. She's been 93 for the past 40 years. I found this out by checking the records at the library, where Miss Patterson has been the head librarian since 1962. She doesn't look a day over 30. How long has this been happening? I asked her yesterday, showing her my journal filled with dates and deaths and resurrections. She glanced around nervously, then whispered, "Since the mine." The mine. Everyone knows about the Millbrook silver mine, closed since 1983 after the accident. 27 miners trapped when the shaft collapsed. Bodies never recovered. The town mourned, then moved on. But what if they didn't move on? What if they never left? Miss Patterson led me to the basement archives, where dust-covered files revealed the truth. The mine wasn't just silver. They found something else down there in the final days before the collapse. Something the company called Specimen 7 in their reports. Something that exhibits unprecedented biological properties and appears to nullify cellular decay indefinitely. The last entry, dated the day before the collapse. Specimen shows signs of consciousness, recommending immediate evacuation and quarantine. Effect seems to be spreading through groundwater. I drove out to the mine that evening. The entrance is sealed with concrete and warning signs, but I could feel it, a presence beneath the earth, ancient and patient. The groundwater flows from here straight into town, feeding our wells, our crops, our bodies. We're all infected. Have been for 40 years. Death comes for us, but something older and hungrier sends it away. We're preserved, kept fresh, like specimens in a jar. But preservation isn't life. It's the absence of death, which isn't the same thing at all. The children born here never truly grow up. They age to a point, then stop, caught in eternal loop. The adults don't age, don't change, don't truly live. We're all just echoes of ourselves, playing out the same routines day after day, year after year. That's when I noticed the others watching me. The ones who knew I was getting too close to the truth. Sheriff Morrison cornered me outside the diner. "You need to stop asking questions," he said. "Some secrets are meant to stay buried." "How long have you known?" I asked. "Since the beginning. I was there when the mine collapsed. I felt it change us." His eyes were old, far older than his face. "We tried to leave once, in the early days. Anyone who crosses the town line." He shuddered. "The preservation doesn't work beyond the groundwater. They age 40 years in 40 seconds. Crumble to dust. We're trapped. Preserved in this bubble of unlife, forever. But last night something changed. I was walking past the cemetery when I heard it digging. Frantic, desperate digging from beneath the ground. The sound was coming from the old section, where the mine workers are buried. Empty caskets, but we buried them anyway. The headstone read, Jonas Miller, mine foreman, 1940 to 1983. The digging stopped. Then the ground began to crack. A hand burst through the earth. Gray, mummified, but moving with purpose. Then another. One by one, they crawled out, the 27 miners who died in the collapse. The ones who found specimen 7. The ones who brought this curse to our town. They stood among the headstones, their eyes black holes in desiccated faces. When Jonas opened his mouth to speak, dust poured out like sand. 40 years, he rasped. 40 years we've been feeding it. But we're hungry now. So very hungry. That's when I understood. We weren't preserved by some benevolent force. We were livestock, kept fresh for when the real predators woke up. The miners spread through town like a plague. I watched from my bedroom window as they visited each house. They didn't kill anyone, they couldn't. Death wasn't allowed here. Instead, they did something worse. They drained the life from us. Not death, but the absence of everything that makes existence worthwhile. Hope, joy, memory, love. One by one, my neighbors became hollow shells, walking through their routines with empty eyes. Still alive, still preserved, but no longer human in any way that mattered. I'm writing this as they approach my house. I can hear their footsteps on my porch, their whispered promises of eternal emptiness. The front door is opening now. Jonas stands in my hallway, grinning with teeth like broken glass. Thank you, he says, for disturbing our rest. For 40 years, Specimen 7 has kept us trapped below, feeding us just enough to survive but not enough to truly live. But your questions, your digging, your journal, you weakened the barriers. He's right. In trying to understand the curse, I broke it. Not to free the town, but to free the miners. The real predators. Now we feast, he continues. And when we're done, when we've drained every spark of life from this place, the preservation will end. You'll all die properly, permanently, completely. And we'll move on to the next town. I can feel it starting. The draining. My memories of childhood are fading first, then my feelings for the friends I've lost, then my own name. But I have enough left to finish this warning. If you're reading this journal, if you've found it in the ruins of Millbrook, then know this. They're coming. The town that forgot how to die is teaching others to remember. And 27 miners are very, very hungry. The preservation is ending. I can feel death returning to Millbrook at last. Real death. Permanent death. I should be afraid, but I'm not. After 40 years of unlife, death feels like mercy. At least this way it ends. At least this way we're finally free. The last thing I see is Jonas reaching for me with those gray, grasping fingers. The last thing I feel is relief. I hope we have satisfied that itch in the back of your brain. Again, check out our Creepy Tales playlist. Like and share if you want more videos like this.